Let me ask y'all something. So let's say tomorrow you launch something in your business. Maybe it's a workshop, maybe it's a membership, maybe it's a service, maybe it's a digital product, and people actually buy it. That's exciting. Congratulations. Let's go. Let's go. But here's the question I want you to think about, or at least I was thinking about this week, right? Now what? Now what? They bought it. They're in. Now what? Because I think a lot of businesses celebrate the first sale when in reality, the first sale is just proof that someone believes in your business. But the first sale is just the beginning of the journey for them, right? So let's get into that. This week, I watched a small service business launch something new. It wasn't perfect, it was a cool workshop. And this business, I'll give you the background. Is just this business was around for the past almost a year now, growing their following and not making any income, right? So they decided to start this workshop and see, will this create any traction? Will this change? Will this finally make some money in their business, right? And to their surprise, they had a 100 plus people show interest, and that's amazing. Let's go. If I'm anyone, I'll be happy about that. So now the big day comes for the workshop, and the business has a few technical issues, but that's fine. Um, and even though they had hundreds of people interested, hundreds of people didn't show up. But still, the people that showed up is all that matters because we're looking for proof that people showed up, people paid, and people that attended really enjoyed it, and they had great feedback. And honestly, that's a win. It's a huge win, in my opinion, because a lot of businesses go a year or more and never see those small wins, never make any money, they never get any proof that somebody wants what they're selling. Um, so this business got proof. And instead of stopping there, my brain went somewhere else. And I started asking myself and also really just myself is, okay, what happens next? Now this event's over. What happens next to the owner and to the customers? And is it done now? Workshop's done and we don't do anything else? So my questions is, what happens after someone attends? Do they get welcomed? Do they get reminded about the next event? Do they leave a review? Um, do they tell someone else like, "Hey, I just did this cool behind workshop, and you would love it, right? It would teach you so much." Or did they just, or are they not doing that? But how would you know, right? Are you even staying connected with them? Or does everything just die and depend on the owner doing it? And if the owner doesn't doing it, then it doesn't happen. And especially when the owner of this company and other companies I've seen, they complain about this type of thing. And that's when it clicked again. And I realized that building the offer isn't your finish line. Building the system around the offer is what's important. And that's where businesses really will start to grow. Because now this business was around for, like I said, almost a year. But because they made a little tweak in the whole system, now instantly they saw results. One thing I've been learning is before you think about AI, automation, or adding another tool to your system, you need to understand the business first because technology can't fix your process when we don't understand your business or your process. And if I walked into your business tomorrow, I wouldn't ask you what AI do you want. I'll ask you, walk me through what happens after a customer says yes, right? So from this point forward, we want to have repeat customers. So that means you need to tell me everything. Give me the deets because somewhere in that journey, there's usually friction, manual work. that you have to do, right? You might have to do manually schedule it. You might have to manually remind people about the events, right? There's also some repetitive work that you're going to be doing. And these are small things, even though they may seem small at first, because it's like, okay, maybe not a lot of people was at my event or my workshop or bought my service or my product. So it may not be that big, but it's like, no, these are all big right now. Because think about it. Imagine if this was 1,000 people. Now your whole process is slow. And you might be even frantic, like, oh, what can I do? How can I make this smoother? And that's where I start. That's where we start. So if I had to leave you with anything this week, it would be these three questions. Number one, what do you do every single day that feels repetitive, right? So it could be calling the customer, like I say, for a reminder. It could be uploading the same type of post that you do every day. So it could be multiple of these things. Number two, what part of your customer experience depends entirely on you, right? So think about it. If you as the owner is not there, can your business run? Well, and this ends up happening where it's like if you have a job estimate and we can't send the estimate because the owner has to approve one more thing, and the office person and the techs that went out maybe can't handle it, or we can't do nothing because the owner needs to approve um this scheduling, or the owner needs to approve this or or that, right? Or the customer can't experience a review process because the owner has to personally call them and get it done instead of someone else calling, or an automated text or email or even an automated phone call um, that could help. And number three is if you took a week off, what would happen in your business? Would it fall apart immediately? And if so, why? Where are the holes? Find the gaps in your business to figure out how can we fill them? How can we stop them? How can we stop the leaks? That's all it is. They're just leaks. And once you fill them and you delegate, then you have a big ta-da pie, you know? And sometimes that's all you have to focus on. And that's where the attention in your business is needed. And then once you have that, then you're able to figure out, okay, maybe I do need AI. Maybe I do need automation. Maybe I do need a better process. But you don't start with the technology first until you understand the process and the business behind the technology. Because then all the technology does is just make whatever you already are doing easier, right? So if you get phone calls, you can have an AI or an automation take your phone calls, or take your DMs, or take your review requests, whatever you want it to do. And I think we should start with understanding how businesses actually work. Then you can understand the perfect tool. If I give you a hammer and you have to fix something that does not need a hammer, what is the tool for? It's not useful. And that's the biggest shift in my thinking this week and what I've been learning and just reading up on this week. So instead of asking how can I use AI for X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, you should ask yourself, how can I make my business operate better? And what are those holes that I need to fill? And the right technology will become obvious once you understand these things. Because there are loads of business problems that businesses have, right? I have another list right here that I know I will find. So here's a few business problems. You might get missed calls. You may take forever to respond to your leads. You have no way to track your leads. You have no CRM. Your leads may get lost. You do all manual data entry. You have poor internal communication. But like I said earlier, it may take you forever to get your estimates out. You may have no follow-up process for your customers. You may have no SOPs or standard operating procedures within your business that if you're not here, somebody can just read it and boom, they know what they're doing, right? You have a poor scheduling process, a bad handoff process. You have no reporting, no visibility into your operations. And that's just a little list. There's more, but you have no appointment reminders. Like I said, no review requests. So there's more, but all these things are individual problems that multiple businesses have. And then sometimes it may not be any of those problems, and it may be even bigger problems that you have. It just depends on the size of the business, right? And the type of work that you do, really. Um, so I'll leave you with one question. What's one thing in your business that you're tired of doing over and over and over again, right? What's that one thing that if you could just fix that one thing, your business will operate better for these next month or these next 30 days or however long it's supposed to operate better for, right? Because you are the one that gets to set the goals and what everything is set up as. So here are the tasks and that you're supposed to be doing. Here's the goal. And then in the middle is the production and your productivity. If you don't have any productivity, then you never get here. And all you have is theory right here. And we don't like just theory. So think about it this week. And with that, thank you for listening. I'll be here next week and the week after. Give you more. Listen.